these are the young children with which this project is targeted for. And for a specific category, we are targeting adolescent girls and young women. So for starters, that is the group of young people under TASO Soroti whom we identified to take care of. We have about 262 adolescent girls and young women, representing about 4.6% of the total population of the clients that we care about from here in TASO Soroti. So this group of young people, we were able to identify them, train them with the funding which was given to us through the Rotary grant from our German friends. And so as TASO Soroti, we have a long friendship with the German people, whom this time around decided to support the young people through that fund, directed directly to adolescent girls and young women. Just like you've come to the NSSF, we're able to utilize the funding of the German friends to train these girls, and they are now able to do tailoring, they are able to do embroidery, they are able to do knitting, fitting, and whatever that it needs to be done under the tailoring department. They have industrial level skill of training, because then they were trained by specialists from the Mbale Industrial Park. So that's where the skills have been obtained from. And so we are excited really that this project of tailoring and embroidery is here and benefiting the girl child, of which we expect that, one, it would boost their livelihood, improve on their well-being, but most importantly, contribute to their health. Being HIV positive, one, you must achieve a healthy life, meaning you must be suppressed. Now this is scientific. You must be stable in care, and to be stable in care, you need some money, isn't it? You need some money. It is very difficult to say you are stable, but your pockets are dwindling. And as a growing young girl, demands keep increasing. That is the foundation with which this project came in on board to support us.
NSSF for having identified TASO, and especially TASO Soroti. As TASO Uganda, we have 12 centers, but God led you to TASO Soroti, and we are very delighted about that. As the previous speaker has just spoken, we have 262 adolescents as for now, the ones that we feel are of a particular age that we are supporting. Remember, we have now lived with HIV for more than 35 years, and most of these children then were born with HIV. Some of them got HIV without even knowing that they had. But because of the frequent sickness, either the caregiver, the grandmother, or the real parent thought that, I think, let me take a test. And here you are, you eventually discover that you yourself, you're HIV positive, and the baby you are carrying is HIV positive. You find that most of the adolescents that we have here came to us, some of them when they were 4, some of them when they are 7. Here, Emmanuel has just spoken, and he's a testimony to our service in TASO Soroti. There are quite a number of them sitting here. I cannot mention them unless each of them maybe is willing to give her own testimony. But we have quite a number of young people. I am very happy because the German friends opened for us this opportunity to support the young people. How did they do that? We had the young people. As life goes on, a number of them fell out of school. They cannot continue going to school. Some of them, the caretakers, the grandmothers passed on. Some of them, their biological parents passed on. So most of these children did not know what really to do. Number of them were now child-headed families, and life was very hard. And through management here, we sat and said, what can we do? The children are coming for service, but a number of them are not suppressing, which is very dangerous. If a child is not suppressing, even an adult, So management decided to write a proposal to our German friends who have supported us for a long time here, and thank God the proposal was approved. Now, we had first of all to try to see, because there are so many, many of them are not even mothers. Mothers, some even don't know the fathers of their children, but you're carrying a baby, you're a mother, you're taking drugs, you can't continue with life. So we said now, during our adolescent clinic, let's try to see and find out what are some of their dreams. What would they think they can also do to engage themselves in day-to-day life? Some of them showed interest in tailoring. Some of them breeder. Some of them said, for me, I would prefer maybe to learn how to cook. Some of them said, we want saloon. So we looked at the package that we had, and then we interviewed them and identified the 30 that we trained. Remember, as a person who is living with HIV/AIDS, one of the biggest things that needs to be addressed is the psychological bit of you. And it is our responsibility to make sure that these children are mentally stable. They are mentally stable because even after getting this kit, if they are not mentally stable, their issues not addressed, that means they can leave the drug. Even this training can be useless.
Colleagues here, that I am a beneficiary of NSSF. I can be a mouthpiece to NSSF because I have benefited in the midterm. For the midterm, I benefited. I clocked, by the way, I am now 55. So I have even gotten my NSSF and invested in some projects. But I have continued to save because I know that I still need this money before I finally actually retire with TASO. So I want to thank NSSF and for a number of us who are in the house and you are not in NSSF, I want to ask you to think about it, especially the students, because those who are with the TASO are all. But students, I think there is an opportunity, they call it what? Smart Life. You can join Smart Life and save anything you can. Back to the reason why we are here. Last year, we received a total of 72 million shillings, which was arising from a concept which we wrote through our Germany friends to Rotary Club of Germany. And it was a follow-on project because we initially started, this was through a TASO run, which Totoaru Edlet spoke about. When we made the run, we were able to support some children, but we also supported OVCs, about 11 of our OVCs that did apprenticeship training in the various institutions around Soroti. Now, our past experience has been that when we give skills training to the OVCs, we give them startup income. We procure probably tailoring machines and offer them. Now, our experience has been that some of them, after offering them the tailoring machine, we used to offer oxen, we used to offer saloon materials and any other trade that somebody takes. Just after maybe 1 week, you'll find the student has sold the item. And they go back to zero. And they will come back again and say, no, they stopped. So this time round, we changed the approach. When we got acceptance from the Rotary grant of Germany of 72 million, we say we need to do it differently. So we now decided to use that resource to purchase the machines, the interlocking machines, the embroidery machines, the small tailoring machines. We still have a few, but it has given us a good start. And so the machines remain TASO property. Our plans are to engage these young people, adolescent girls and young women, to be making the products. As our team markets these products, and we are able to get resources for sustainability, and in the resources that we get, we pay them kind of like commission. So at the end of the month, we plan to pay the adolescent girls and young women who are making these sweaters and clothes a monthly stipend, so that they can cause survival, but without selling what gives them this survival. We are trying and testing this approach if it can work for us better. But so far, I want to give us an assurance that it appears this is the best method, because they can't come and sell these machines, but they can come and use the machines and earn money. As a new approach we are testing. And it's my hope that it works very well. And so recently when we heard about NSSF, and we were very excited. Personally, I was sick at home, and when I got to hear that, yes, is it possible to develop a small concept for NSSF, and we did. And also I heard news that, yes, NSSF has granted to offer some support. We want to very sincerely on behalf of this institution, particularly TASO Soroti, and on behalf of the voiceless persons, the vulnerable community we serve, I want to again say thank you to NSSF.
High Innovator, where we put people in innovation hubs. So maybe that's a conversation we can have later on, and we see how to support through maybe the High Innovator project. Yes, but at this juncture, allow me to welcome Phillips, who will in turn welcome Milton. Thank you very much.
And certainly, there are things that Chelsea has mentioned that we feel probably next time we can actually still participate in. He has talked of the TASO run. We also have that NSSF run that we do every year, and the money is directed to support mostly schools, primary schools which are government aided, but also sometimes it's directed to certain areas. And since it sits in Kampala, probably we don't know what will convince these friends that side about the proceeds from such money, how we can support. But I think when the TASO run is next around, let us know. Certainly we shall come to you. You've talked about t-shirts, corporate wears. Is our boss and he gives us those t-shirts, and if it meets our pocket, certainly I believe it's something we can look into. But I am happy with the young people. I know in Uganda now, especially the adolescents, people between 20 to 45, that is where much of the disease is rampant. And Soroti being a transit route, I know it's among the top 5 districts or cities in Uganda with the highest prevalence. So you have a lot of work to do, you see? So you have a lot to do, and we can only do through this kind of engagement. The people who have come out and declared themselves positive, and they are our change agents in the community, I think will make it even more better. He talked about money, that when you have no money in the pocket, and I was relating, I had a lot of people talking psycho, something, that one. So you might talk about, you might counsel me as a positive person, but if I have no money in the pocket, I think that will get to waste. So we want to appreciate your idea that at least these people do some work to make them productive and give them something little. That for me I think is a model that if we keep improving can actually be scaled across the country. And Anita was telling me about iInnovator. It's something we could also look into and see how best. Maybe that project can try to also push itself and see where it can be supported.
What happens with your money when it comes to us? How do you access it? and then we spoke to them about Smart Life, which we encouraged all of them to join. I hope at an appropriate time, Anita and the team and Sarah will be here to talk about NSSF and to encourage you to join Smart Life, because that's what the future is all about. I want to thank TASO Soroti and TASO in the country in a very special way. Very many years ago, this AIDS came to be part of our life, and like Philip said a short while ago, in those days, it sounded like a death sentence. It sounded like you no longer belong. But because of you people, TASO, and other people who do work like you have demystified it. The world has moved a long distance to come to the realization that even when you're HIV positive, life can still continue. You can still live another 30, 40, 50 years until the Almighty God Himself decides what to do. So we thank you for the work that you do. We thank you for the hope that you instill in people. We thank you for the economic activities that you enable people to do. Every year at NSSF, we celebrate World AIDS Day. And we all are living in a community that is living with AIDS. So what we do every year is we mobilize our staff to stand with the people who need support. So staff voluntarily contribute. There are years when we do money, there are years when we do in kind. So staff come up voluntarily to stand with the people that need our support. So this year, staff stood with us, and once staff had mobilized the little that we could, or the much that we could, we asked NSSF to top it up. So staff made their contribution, and then NSSF topped up with another 5 million to make the total of what we have today. So you said a lot of things, but the big one I take is the work that you're doing to economically empower the youth through this project. So when we had that money, we spoke with your head office, Kampala, to say we have something small that we want to stand with TASO on. This time, we usually do it in Kampala, but this time we thought we should do it outside Kampala. But I'm so glad that we chose Soroti, because hearing the story, she said, hearing the story, the manager said, I am so happy that we chose Soroti. And the other thing I want to say is NSSF does a lot of work with other organizations in terms of economic growth of this country.
But what you're seeing here is a